$300,000 in cash with a 4 high.
The cash is so sweet.
How much is that and how much do you have left? This is going to be the sickest call of all time.
Here's 2K to show anything higher than a pair of jacks.
You made 5, I would show those aces then.
David Williams raises to 1800. Jack 9 offsuit.
48.
And Brad Booth raises to 5800.
And Mr. Phil Ivey's got a pair of kings.
And he's going to raise to 14,000.
14.
Brad looks like he's serious about making this call here.
Yeah.
14.
Well, it's going to cost him $8,200.
Sorry, Phil. You're about 230 or so?
300 about.
300?
Yeah, about.
280 or something like that.
Yeah, he's going to make the call because Phil Ivey has $280,000 left. And if Brad Booth gets the right flop, he could win a lot of money in this hand.
Flop comes 3-7-6.
That's not the right flop.
Yeah.
He does have an inside straight draw and a backdoor flush draw.
A $23,000 bet from Ivey.
23.
Looks like Brad Booth's not giving up.
I'm all in.
Brad Booth just said he's all in, which means he's putting Phil Ivey all in.
I love you, God.
He put 3 bricks out there, $300,000 in cash with a 4 high.
That's ballsy.
Serious business going on, Daniel.
Very ballsy. Phil Ivey says, what's going on here? And I think what's going on here is Brad Booth is putting Phil Ivey on exactly the type of hand he has, and he doesn't believe that Phil Ivey can call $250,000 or $60,000 right now.
Wish you could put the chips in. That cash just looks so sweet.
It is intimidating.
He just says that because you don't need to wait at the main cage. You know, he might save a lot of money because, you know, his time's a lot of money. So when he's counting the pot and what he can win, counts the 300 or whatever he has, plus another 250 that he doesn't wait at the cage. So he has a better value. You guys don't count like that. I know you don't.
David Benjamin is saying that Phil Ivey might be in a dangerous position taking $300,000 in chips to the cage. Might make a stop in the casino. I think Brad Booth is doing this for 2 reasons. 1, he doesn't feel Phil Ivey can call him with a pair of queens, kings, or aces. And 2, he's advertising.
Yeah.
He is showing that he is totally unpredictable, and he expects this $300,000 bet here to pay dividends in the future.
Gotcha. Yep.
Because he could very easily have a pair of 6s, a pair of 7s, a pair of 3s, and a flop to set. He's trying to say, that's what I have. Throw your hand away, Phil.
Yeah.
And Phil does.
Yep.
You're a sick man.
Brad Booth accomplished quite a bit with that great play.
Phil Ivey, pocket queens. He's going to raise to 3,000.
Raise to 3,000.
Kind of minimal raise with pair of queens. He's going to let John D'Agostino in with the 7-4 spades.
Things are shaking. Things are moving.
And he's going to let Daniel Negreanu in with the 6-4 diamonds.
Pots are building.
For sure.
David, how many hands could I possibly fold in a row?
Flop comes 5, 10, 8.
2 diamonds. Both David Williams and Daniel Negreanu have flop flush draws. Daniel Negreanu's actually got an inside straight draw also. Phil Ivey still got the best hand with the queens, and he bets him.
We bet 10 grand.
Daniel's going to insta-call, and we know David Williams is at least going to call with the ace-high flush draw.
I'm thinking of an interesting turn card.
He just called.
6 of spades on the turn.
Gives Daniel a pair of sixes. Phil Ivey still with the best hand.
That's $28,000.
Daniel's got a pair, a flush draw, and a straight draw. Kind of weak straight draw. But I think Daniel's going to call, and if Daniel calls, David Williams has to call with the ace-high flush draw. So it's going to be really interesting if David Williams raises here.
Well, forget all about that.
Forget about everything I just said. David Williams just calls.
Good luck, boys.
River's another 6.
Daniel Negreanu now has the best hand, 3 sixes.
Wow.
That's not the way he expected to win this hand. Phil Ivey does not like that 6. He's thinking it's very possible that one of these guys might have had some sort of straight draw and made 3 sixes.
How much you have there, David? 40 something?
40,000. A little less, like 38.5.
All right, check.
3 sixes.
Great check
All right.
by Phil Ivey on the river.
I know that. When you called, I knew I didn't need a diamond.
Phil Hellmuth raises to 2,000 with a jack-5 of hearts. Anybody need some dry cleaning done? There's a lot of steam coming off Phil Hellmuth right now. Wow, what a flop. Hellmuth has flopped an open-end straight draw and a flush draw. Phil Ivey has a higher flush draw. Ivey bet 6,000. Phil Hellmuth would be totally justified in raising here. Open-end straight and flush draw.
Raise it.
And he's going to raise.
20.
Phil Ivey going over everything that's happened today as it pertains to this hand. I know for sure he's going to call the 20,000. Good chance he might try to put Phil Hellmuth all in right now.
How much more you got?
90.
Phil Hellmuth sound like a little kid. How much money you got today? 90. You want to buy an ice cream? Maybe. How about if we just shoot some craps? Definitely. Ivey's just going to call. Kings on the turn for Ivey. Quick check. Phil Hellmuth only has 80,000 left. There's already 60,000 in the pot. Hellmuth knows Ivey was in the small blind, just called the 2,000, could easily have a hand like 7-8. He could check and see the river, or he can try and move Phil Ivey off his hand right here, go all in.
I'm all in.
He's going all in.
Call.
And Phil Ivey calls.
Hold on a sec. Let's take a look.
Wow. Gee, that's rough shape. 6 wins.
That is
huh?
not the hand Phil Hellmuth was hoping to see. Those are the 6 cards he can win with.
Cooler board.
You want to deal it 3 times?
No.
Ivey does not want to deal with 3 times. And no insurance because Phil Hellmuth doesn't have the best hand.
It's straight.
Wow, they both make the flush on the river.
Good game, man.
Looks like Phil Hellmuth is leaving.
Well, the good news, if he checked the turn, he still would lose.
Christian?
Yeah, what would you guys
Well,
have
how
to
long
give
is
us?
Danny? I mean, that's the problem.
Same length as Christian, probably.
How
No,
long
I
is
don't think
Danny is a
Christian's
golf
like
question,
Yeah,
referring
that's
to
all
how
Danny.
long someone could hit their drive. More golf
So,
talk going
me and
on.
you? Me and Christian against you two? I don't know.
Remember,
If
you
that's
haven't
worth it,
yet
you
been
got to give us the best of it because we're going to be yelling at each other after like
That's
3
the
holes.
funny part, yeah. That's worth it.
Remember, I mean, when making this match, you have to consider that you haven't been playing for a while.
Exactly.
This is the beginning of a golf
I
negotiation.
don't know, but if it depends really if Danny's that long. If he is, then it's close, I think.
As everybody talks about how long Danny is, Phil Ivey has flopped another set.
I just can't imagine Danny being serious in a golf match. I mean, I know he must be, but
Andreas going to make a move at the pot.
I've never seen the guy without.
Daniel correctly doesn't believe that he has a big hand, so he calls here to probably try and take the pot away on the turn of the river. However, 20,000 from Phil Ivey and his 3 sixes. And that should be the end of this. Uh-oh. It looks like Andreas has some devious thoughts about this hand. Boy, is his timing off.
Oops.
That's the end of you.
Yeah.
Daniel out of the way.
That was.
Andreas is saying, all right, step back, boys. I show you how we deal with the bullies in Northern Europe here.
Must have started with around 200.
Phil Ivey's probably putting Andreas on ace-king.
You don't have to count the reds.
Okay, thank you.
Well, come on in.
Well, that'll be the end of that. Phil Ivey went all in. If he really put Andreas on ace-king, if he just called, Andreas might have fired another bullet.
I swear. Make me lose and I will talk.
Well, when he starts losing, he goes crazy, so he talks more. I can't believe he called that hand. How did he call it?
No, not complain.
No, no,
just
no, no.
try to.
I know, I know.
I saw the show that you gave all your lead to Howard Leder. Shame on you. You had so many chips compared to him, and he chopped you.
I had the winning coin flip.
Italy versus the US.
I was winning the coin flip, had one.
You did,
And
yeah.
when we were 3 left, we won it all in. One had 9s and the other is 3.
Oh,
What
that
was
a-
this?
I took 2 shots.
The Italy versus USA, the poker after dark. Eric Lindgren, Howard, and
Interesting hand here. Phil Ivey raised to 3,000 with 7-deuce offsuit, and there is no 7-deuce bounty as we've had in past seasons on high-stakes poker. He just felt like doing it. Now he follows up with a $12,000 bet.
No.
Only person who has anything here is Dario with a flush draw.
Maxi.
One more.
Put one more in, Dario. I got this big 7-deuce here. I want to make sure I get all the money in the pot there. Ace is a good card for Phil Ivey. He can continue with his story now, if he wants. Yep. Here comes chapter 3. 30,000, just like he has ace king or ace queen. Dario is capable of doing something here. Does that man look like he's bluffing to you? Most players would probably turn over the 7 deuce here.
Show you and like I'll show you what
4,000.
I've never used it, but yeah.
Another big ace for Phil Hellmuth.
I trust you.
I've never used it.
Uh-oh.
I've just seen it.
Queens for Phil Ivey, and the smile gradually leaves his face. Not all at once, but just toned it down. Down to business.
All right, I got 20. You talked me into it. I got 20.
Raise 40.
Wow. Phil Hellmuth is getting tired of being pushed around. He thinks Phil Ivey's making a move on him, and he's re-raised 40,000.
Probably 205 than winning the first round. I'm great play, I might add, so you might not want to mess with this one.
We should have you in the booth there, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's pretty obvious that there's only 2 poker players that would, that I think.
Phil Ivey has moved all in.
We say he's all in?
Let me, Mr. Ivey, you moved all in?
He did. He's all in. I'm thinking about making a thin call.
Okay, it's thin. We got some info, guys. It's thin. No matter what it is, it's thin.
I think he might have 8, 9 of spades or something here.
He's the best in the world, the helmet.
Well, I'll let you give me that over too.
What?
Well, I'll let you give me that over.
I think I might have you, Phil. Let me just...
What? 3, 5, 1,
Oh, please.
Pretty strong play. You're just trying to play me, I guess.
1 to 1 that it's over 5, right?
I think Phil Hellmuth is just posturing here. I don't see any way he's calling.
Okay.
Just sounds insanity.
So then 5 to 1, 7, 6.
All right, good bluff, Phil. I give you credit for a good bluff.
Show 1.
Show the
Wait.
8 or the 9.
Hey, hang on a second.
Show the 8 or the
Here's
9.
2K to show anything higher than a pair of jacks. Jacks are higher. Here's 2K. Okay, wait.
Anything higher than a pair of jacks?
If you can beat a pair of jacks, I'll give you 2,000.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
You're giving me 2,000 if
Yeah.
I can beat a pair of jacks?
Jacks are better.
Can I just show you? These people just come here to hustle.
It's tough. It's a tough business.
Maybe that's why Gus Hansen is raising here with Queen 6 offsuit.
Golf. Remember how bad I hustled you there?
That was something. I was embarrassed for you.
How much did I lose?
You just weren't lucky.
I was really unlucky.
Ellie's going to take a shot with 9-5 suited.
And how many strokes you give you? 2 aside?
Phil Ivey is just going to call with his 9s.
Well, actually, then this one hole, I just kept hitting it in the water. He's just sitting there smiling the whole time.
Didn't work out for Gus when he just called with his queens. But Jason attempts a squeeze play here. 22-1.
One that Phil
Going to lose Gus and Ellie.
Any meat, chicken, or fish for a year.
For a year. Okay.
Phil Ivy's not going anywhere.
He's going to just take care of his body.
Well, I got a
run,
5. I got
he's
5.
the
I don't want
happiest
to
guy
switch
in 1 year. It's like it's such a.
I don't want that.
You lost $1 million there. Okay, I would like to take some action. I'll give you.
So I have no choice?
For 200,000. Okay, second bet. I'm just kidding. 2 to 1, 200,000 firm offer. Right. Okay, what's like so?
Ivy just calls.
And then the other one's 2 to 1 that I win 2 bracelets.
Looks like Gus Hansen is throwing in the towel for the night. Good flop for Phil. No ace, no king, no queen. If Jason didn't have it before, it's unlikely he has it now. Jason does have an inside straight draw. Would make a straight with a 5. And he bets 28-7. Let's see what Phil does here. We know he's not going out.
I'm up 3 and we're going for 4? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, shoot. You're up 1,000.
We get there eventually.
You got schooled. Who was going to lose the $4 million?
No,
all of us.
No, he just offered. No one.
We offered $3 million.
You offered
Ivy raises 50,000.
No, we offered like 1.5 million, right?
You and Ellie were going to do $1.5 million each?
Oh, you did?
I don't see any way Jason's calling. Ivy slow playing the 9s is going to make him about $40,000.
I'm sorry.
Many times.
Wow, the worst thing is I didn't even know what hand was.
But Jason's not throwing his hand away yet.
So sick. I just got for 1,000.
What's in those?
He's all in.
It's one of his, I don't know.
He continues to tell a good story. I don't see how Phil Ivey can call. If Jason had aces or kings, he'd play it the same way.
You know what? I'm gonna tighten it.
You have 1,000 left.
It's a $107,000 raise.
Although I owe the guy $5.
Looking at the board, Ivey sees no drawer out there. Little glance at Jason. As I said, the story is very convincing. It really looks like Jason, who's played kind of snug. Phil Ivey just said, all right.
Guess you got me here. Already, I don't even...
Phil Ivey said, all right, if you got the overpair, you got me.
Yeah,
And he calls.
Once or twice.
What a call by Phil Ivey.
Maybe so.
One time.
Want to run it twice? Or once?
I don't even want to do it once.
I could have answered that question, Jason. One time. You're going to have to catch your 5 of your ace. Great play by Jason. Great call by Phil Ivey.
I'm starting to not feel so bad about putting me 200,000 in with my 2 queens. I'm starting not to feel so bad. I mean, I see the king 10 and the king 3.
Ah, man. Nice hand.
Welcome to the Ivy world, Jason.
Phil Ivey could actually have a hamburger and have enough money to pay off his $1 million bet with Juan. He could actually have a whole barbecue right now if he wants.
Punish the Unabomber.
I'm easily punishable. There's many weaknesses in my game that people can exploit. You can ask Dur about them. He'll give you the list.
When's Barry getting here?
You might have to pay him something.
Come from these though.
What's it? 30 what?
39
Respect.
Dur is the last one. We're going to find out about the respect card right now. This is the
Here
moment.
it comes, 40,000.
Whee! From Dur, you don't know what to expect at any time in your life. It's total wild card madness game with Dur.
There is about 18,000 out there already. Both Phil and Antonio are goading Juan into raising here, hoping that he doesn't. But he does.
And enter the wild card madness card. That's 25. I don't even have one of those. He goes right to the exploit me, and he knows that I have to give up 5 chips to call. 5 instead of just 1.
A cool 25,000 raise with 8-9 of spades.
Should be 100 more.
100 more. You made it 39.
He's the best. He just torturing me. So when I try and get in with 1 chip, he puts in 2. Dur might be the best.
So it's a 1 blue chip?
Yeah.
Ellie's big winner. He might take a shot.
1 blue chip. A lot of people at home call it a 1 blue chip.
Just 1 blue chip.
Worst lay down I ever make in my life.
If I just call there instead of raising, we're likely to have 4 colors.
See if Mr. Ivey puts in that blue chip. Nope, it's 5 white chips.
It looks quite baller with Ivey's stacks of money and chips. It's most baller.
Juan misses. Phil Ivey's got a huge draw, nut flush draw, and an inside straight draw. A little $45,800 continuation bet. Ivey is analyzing the hand. It's very possible that Tom Juan has a set. He raised $25,000 before the flop. He knows he's not going to get Tom Juan to lay down a hand like ace-king or aces.
How much you start this hand with, Dur?
About 750.
But he does have a big draw, and he is playing against Tom Juan. He might decide to gamble and raise. He just calls. Three of spades on the turn. About as blank as you can get. 162,000 in the pot already. The man with 9 high bets 123-2. Phil Ivey has a big decision now. He feels he's behind and is trying to figure out if he can get paid off if he makes his hand. If a diamond comes, can he get any money out of Juan? If a jack comes, is he just going to split the pot? He decides to call. I think he's calling for 2 reasons. 1, he feels he can get paid off if he hits his hand. And 2, there's a small chance that Juan is completely airballing. Ivey makes a pair of 6s on the river. Misses the flush, misses the straight. There's $408,700 out there. It's not like Tom Dwan to give up. This is the first time all season that the table's been completely quiet. Even Phil Locke and Antonio are quiet. He is loading the gun. He fires. 268,200.
How much is that and how much do you have left?
Have about 280 left.
Juan's voice was a little shaky there. He did not want to hear any inquiries from Phil Ivey. Can't expect Phil Locke to be quiet forever.
$258, 268.
You can see that Phil Ivey is not showboating. He is seriously contemplating a call here with a pair of 6s.
Wow. Wait till you see how long, wait till I see what I have that I'm taking this long. I'm not going to believe this one. No, you don't.
Yeah, I think I do.
This is going to be the sickest call of all time.
Juan really looks nervous. What Phil Ivey's trying to decide is he really nervous or is he acting nervous? The truth is, he is really nervous.
Let's think about this a little bit.
Tom Dwan is starting to gulp now. The excitement is overwhelming to Ellie.
Sorry. He only does for a minute. Antonio's like he's sleeping.
This is not, I don't usually take this long.
No, I don't.
No one cares, Ivy. You can take till the...
It's 500,000 in the pot. You want us to tell you anything? Yeah. 500 in the middle. Four something.
Go back to sleep, kid.
Just go back to bed.
Juan looks worse.
Can't be nothing. Except for that.
Can't be nothing except what Tom Dwan has.
Okay.
Oh, that one hurt.
God,
I think he's
eyes
bluffing.
hurt so.
I really
Give
think he's
him
bluffing.
5,000 if you
Staring
can't
at
show
that
your ace
card.
high or better. Give him a free roll for 1,000 on ace high or better if you can't.
I really think he's
The light's just
bluffing.
like,
What's wrong with your eyes?
because I was staring at the same card the whole time. It's something about the lights must really.
You had the hand. Let's go.
He's never played stud 8 or better in a bad game. I promise you that.
Is that a joke or no?
You'll figure it out.
Well, it didn't take long for Mr. Phil Ivey to pick up a pair of kings. He re-raises Barry to 13,000. Look at this. The Hold'em Nightmare. Aces against kings and Patrick Antonius. Our second hand. These players have $500,000 each. It could all go in here before the flop.
How many series of them?
Patrick re-raises to 36-4.
And like 40 and 4. I'm going to play more, obviously.
If
but
you
I'm
have a
still-
bet, you're going to play more.
Right, but I still don't know how to play tourneys, and I'm not going to play all of them.
And actually, the big
$1 million could go in here before the flop.
Because there's more players.
Right. I mean, I might play some of the smaller other ones, but
PLO, you should be good there.
I mean, I'll probably play the stub ones and stuff. I just don't know how to play them. So.
All right.
Phil Ivey just calls. He decides to trap. He doesn't know he is in the trap.
Right.
If a safe flop comes out there, I guarantee you that $1 million is going in the center. 10 Jack Queen. Just about the worst flop for both of these players. They're both afraid of ace king or sets. Check from the aces. Ivey could be wondering, maybe Patrick has ace queen suited, ace jack suited. He's got the kings, he's got an open end straight. He might take a shot right here.
Check.
But he checks. Neither player likes that queen. Now they can't beat ace queen or king queen.
Check.
Check, check. 9 of clubs. Phil Ivey makes a straight. Patrick's saying, this is getting worse and worse. Don't you have any deuces in that deck? Patrick checks. I don't think Phil Ivey can check again. If he were to bet and Patrick would raise, which is not going to happen, then he would have a decision to make. But he's got the straight. He's got to take a little shot here. And there's a little shot, 45,000. Patrick knows that if Phil Ivey had a hand like ace-jack, he wouldn't bet right now. Has Phil Ivey been slow playing a big hand from the get-go? Or does he have a straight? Did that 9 make him a straight? Or does he have complete air? Patrick wants to see. And Patrick sees. And Patrick realizes that a disaster was avoided because we know Phil Ivey, if they got all the money in before the flop, Phil Ivey would have only run it once, and he would have won $500,000 from Patrick. Barry's going to step out here and raise to 5,500 with Queen 10 offsuit. Phil Ivey suspects something. Raises Barry. We have another air Ivey hand. Ivey suspects that Barry was out of line, and he's right. But it looks like Lex, who's got a decent hand, suspects that they're both out of line, and he's right. Look at them. They look like suspects. Nice play by Lex. 51-6.
How much more are you playing?
I think Phil Ivey's posturing here,
110.
asking Lex how much he has.
140 something? 130, 140 more?
Doesn't want Barry to know he raised him with air.
I'm all in.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Phil Ivey just went all in with a 5-deuce offsuit. I don't believe it.
I thought you were just angry at Barry.
I am.
That is one of the great bluffs
Nice hand.
in the history of high-stakes poker. What a move.
All these super good spots that keep coming up.
Lose
So
50
good.
each one.
Yeah, it's like, it's a really good spot though. Like,
It's never a super good spot when you're against a superpower.
I did, yes.
So Hernandez limped on the button. Ivy raised. Hernandez called. And Daniels fold.
We've been talking about this bet for like 12 minutes, and I'm not done with it.
I did very well with a 10-8 in the last hand.
Couldn't get hurt, like hiking the entire Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, where you can't get hurt.
Jack 6-9.
All right, if we ever put
And he flops an open-end straight draw.
Specimen. I'm pretty sure I get hurt on a pavement.
And Ivy misses.
Ivy bets 3,500.
There should be like a lot of prop bets.
And if Hernandez raises here, he'd probably take it, but doesn't look like he's going to do that.
Call.
And Ivy makes aces.
I had another bet with someone gave me 20 to 1. I said I could beat them in golf within 3 years.
Boop, boop. Yeah. And he bets 13,000.
Yeah, it wasn't you.
Oh.
It wasn't you, but I literally bought out after 6 months.
Oh, I thought you and I had some kind of bet like that.
Last is going to call.
Call.
Hoping for a
Okay,
7 or a queen.
It's no point. I don't like how these side bets, so much pressure on you.
Another jack on the river. Phil checks.
Phil checks because he's probably putting Hernandez on exactly what he has, a draw, and he's trying to entice a bluff. I don't know what Phil's thinking about. I think the chances of him calling here about 99.3%.
The date is too strong.
Phil Ivey, good call.
Can't be Phil.
Well, you can. You just get lucky.
Couple of ducks for Ivy.
And he's going to play.
There you go. Finally, Phil's in. Holtman 3 bets to 5,500. King 10 offsuit.
I wonder why. He's obviously watching Phil, knows that Phil hasn't played many hands, hasn't played any hands.
Right.
Phil comes in and he decides to raise. I think he just wants to get into a hand with Phil.
Well, that's what a gambit is. You give up something.
Phil calls.
Get better position. I play a couple gambits. I play, you know the Danish gambit.
I play the cheese Danish gambit.
But I don't know what it is.
It's interesting. You
King 7-6 on the flop.
You give away one, and then you give away C3. You give away another, and then you move your bishop out, and you give away a third, and then you get back. So what you have is 2 bishops and a pawn.
Okay.
Like there, and he has no development. So you're giving up 2 pawns.
So then you just
Holtman checks. I don't know if he's trapping or well, anyway, he's trapped now.
Yeah, there's another deuce for Phil Ivey.
So if it gets the end,
It's going to be a very costly check for Kim.
People are like, huh? If they come in the middle, it's trapped. They don't see it.
public. Did you get like coaching from somebody, or just
That one,
He bets 8,000.
He's going to get called.
No.
Really?
Don't think he's going to get raised, but you never know. Holtman surprised us before.
That one's fun.
In your vast expertise of poker knowledge, why did Holtman check on the flop?
Really fun. Like he plays
Well said. Well said.
Oh no, you let him.
What happens on the river?
With the 3 deuces, he's going to make a move here. He feels good.
You are correct.
He bets 30,000.
So the only move he has, if he knows this, is to move his bishop back. But if he doesn't, you just take the bishop.
Right.
And if not, you take the pawn. That's over there.
And in those games, people win. They don't draw that often. But like in the finals, or like classical match, it's like
they get
2 hours each or something, and then they get extra for I think. And so they draw all the time.
Yeah, like Magnus took like an hour in one spot. So she sat there for an hour.
Holtman calls. And he says, why didn't I bet on the flop?
Nice on, Phil.
Thanks. Like that. It's really cheap. The electricity.
Yeah, you can. I'm looking at buying a coal power plant in Arizona. You can get green credits for it.
Phil Ivey raises to 1,200 with queen 10 of diamonds.
And the ace 7 of diamonds brings in Doyle Brunson.
I've been doing mining is. Well, I've been doing it a long time.
Daniel calls.
It's definitely the best way to buy it, acquire it.
There's going to be eventually they're going to only accept those. I mean,
2 5s and a king on the flop.
And 2 diamonds.
okay.
Phil.
You did hear me, didn't you?
I heard
That's
you.
2,500.
I got to pay you from my pocket, I think, right? I got to pay you from here.
If they don't object, we'll just pay off the table.
Okay. Here. Take it. You happy?
Happier than it was. Yeah, what the hell is that now?
Some ruffled feathers with these props. Doyle calls with the prop money.
Daniel's going to raise to 7,500.
Very impressive. Daniel does not feel that either of these players have a king. And he's right. Doyle throws the nut flush draw away, probably giving Daniel credit for a 5. But still, I think you got to call there.
Jack on the turn.
Gives Phil Ivey an open-end straight draw as well.
Let's see if the Cowboys got any more.
Daniel bets 12,500.
I think at this point, Phil Ivey is giving Daniel credit for a 5.
New Orleans scored on them.
Probably ace 5 suited.
10 to 7.
Cowboys are up 10 to 7.
8 of diamonds on the river.
That makes Phil Ivey's flush. So if Daniel bets, Phil's got to call whatever he bets.
Daniel bets 36,000.
36.
Phil's saying, well, if he's got a full house, he's got me.
2 pair. 6s. Oh, flush. Damn it. I almost checked the river, too. I was like, oh, that must be him.
5s for Mr. Antonius. He's going to raise to 2,500.
Jonathan Gibbs is back.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Volcano.
Johnny Volcano.
Johnny Volcano.
Wow, wow.
Doyle is doing sound effects now.
And there's a 5 for Patrick.
And a 9 for Daniel. Set over set. And a 10 for Ivey.
Wow.
Super action flop.
Check.
Daniel should win a lot of money in this hand.
Patrick bets 5,000.
Daniel chooses to just call, which might even bring a raise from Phil. No, Phil just calls.
Another 10.
Well, this should bring a bet from Phil. No, it doesn't.
Oh, my gosh.
And it should bring another bet from Patrick. No, it doesn't. Daniel will, for sure, Bet something like?
Daniel bets 26,000.
26,000.
Little look what you got there, Daniel. Phil decides to err on the side of caution and just call, which is correct in this hand. Patrick's probably going to raise. He does have a full house.
Yes.
Which full houses are not easy to come by.
Seen a bunch of them so far.
I just say they're not easy to come by, and you say...
But we have seen a bunch.
Yes, we have.
Right, but you're right. They're not easy to come by, for sure.
I don't remember two in the same hand.
Yeah.
Patrick just calls. Hands like this just don't happen too often. One player with trips, two players with a full house.
Wow.
If these were three recreational players, everybody would be all in by now.
Yeah. And here comes Daniel. And he bets 54,000.
54,000.
I would think even though Phil doesn't like it, he's not in love with it, he's going to call. I don't think he's going to raise. I could be wrong.
Come on, Phil.
I think it's going to be call.
All right.
Phil going over everything in his head. He's thinking, can one of these guys have me beat? It's a definite possibility. And in reality, they both have him beat. Puts the chips back in the stack. Great lay down.
Wow.
Patrick's got a call. Patrick can't get away.
All in.
Patrick goes all in.
You got quads.
He thinks he has the best hand. And Daniel's got a call.
Almost checked the river, too.
Daniel doesn't like it.
What, 150? Wouldn't be surprised if it was cool. I know, it can't be. No, he had fives. He had queen 10 or tens.
Daniel is debating calling. Patrick is not raising without a full house, and there's only one full house that Daniel can beat.
So I'll stop wasting people's time.
And he's throwing it away.
Look at that.
Yeah. Wow. Almost checked the river.
Patrick was convinced he had the best hand.
Almost checked the river there.
And he convinced Daniel.
This is the place you want to watch the game right here.